Good morning. Welcome to Reading the Science of Mind in 1 year. Excuse me. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister, Spiritual Leader of the Center for Spiritual Living Common Ground in Central Maryland. Today is May 9th. And so what we do here is we listen to the daily reading be read, and then we share commentary or ideas or essentially what comes alive in us right now as we're hearing it read. Nothing is prescripted, and so we're just doing this together. You're welcome to share your questions or your ideas or your perspectives in the chat, and I will share mine here. Then we will do a 5-minute meditative practice, and then I will close this out with a spiritual mind treatment. So let's get started. Here we go.
May 9th, Science of Mind, A Philosophy of Faith, A Way of Life by Ernest Holmes. Reading from page 452, paragraph 2, through page 454, paragraph 1, using inclusive language.
The Pearl of Great Price, Matthew chapter 13, verses 45 and 46. The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a pearl of great price, for which a person will sell all that they have, that they may possess it. This perhaps best explains the way of the illumined. To them the kingdom of heaven has meant everything, and has been above all else. We find them going away by themselves, that they may more completely enjoy this inner realization of their relationship to the whole. A divine companionship has ever attended such on the pathway of human experience. The description of the things they have seen, felt, and heard constitutes some of the most valuable lessons the world has ever learned. The only news we have of heaven has come through the consciousness of people, and to those few who have penetrated the veil of illusion and entered the realms of deeper reality, we owe a debt that cannot be paid in any other terms than those of appreciation and thanksgiving. That the illumined have had experiences which the average person cannot conceive of is certain, and that anyone who wills to know truth may know it is evident to all who make the attempt. But let us not forget that spiritual experiences are normal, natural, and rational. The illumined have always had rational intellects and well-balanced mentalities. No experience is salutary unless it is gained while in a normal state of mind. Too great a warning cannot be given against any attempt to break through the veil when in any other but a perfectly normal mental state. Jesus lived in the spiritual world just as normally as we live in the material, and just as consciously. And what is the spiritual world, and where is it? It is right here, could we but see it. Behind everything material stands the spiritual, supporting it, and without which there could be no material. That which defiles, Matthew chapter 15, verses 18, 19, and 20. Not what we eat or drink, but what we think defiles. The issues of life are from within. If a person is clean in their mind, then they are clean indeed. We must keep the mental house free from any thought which contradicts the truth of being. Life is what consciousness makes it. This is a great realization. Experience may appear to disclaim this fact, but the principle involved is an immutable one and cannot be shaken any more than the integrity of the universe can be violated. Let each resolve to be true to themselves, true to their inner light, true to the truth as they understand it. When every person learns to speak the truth, complete salvation will come to the world. If one thinks impurity then their acts will be impure. If their thought dwells on purity and truth, then their acts, reflecting their mind, will make them pure and true. Every plant which is not of God's planting shall be uprooted. In the long run, everything that does not belong to the heavenly kingdom will be destroyed. Truth alone can endure. When the blind lead the blind. Matthew chapter 15, verse 14. If the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. We must be careful what kind of thought we are following. We must test all ideas to see whether they are the truth. It is a mistake to accept every philosophy simply because it sounds plausible. We are to be on guard against accepting that which is not true. And let us remember this: the truth is simple, direct, and always self-evident. False ideas heaped upon false ideas make bad matters worse. The whole confusion of the world arises from fundamental errors of thought. Chief among these errors, and the ancestor to a greater part of the others, is a belief in duality. The belief in duality supposes that evil is equal to good, that a suppositional devil divides, with good, the kingdom of truth. Such things cannot be. Remember the teachings of Moses that God is one. If, on the other hand, we accept that evil has a power equal to good, then we must fall into the ditch of our own confusion. To believe in good alone may seem fallacious to many, but they who thus believe will find their path lighted by a torch which flickers not nor fails.
Okay. So immediately what popped out for me is this idea in the very first sentence: the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a pearl of great price, for which people will sell all that they have, that they may possess it. Are we willing? Am I willing to sell, to let go of, to trade? I mean, sell can mean lots of things, right? In this physical realm, we think of it as just an exchange of money. But in the spiritual sense, am I willing to exchange everything, everything that I possess? Am I willing to exchange it for the kingdom of heaven? The kingdom of heaven in metaphysics being clear mindedness, being the mental clarity, the alignment of thought. Um, we're always, we are the kingdom of heaven. We are that in form. And there's a lot in our lives that obscures that makes it really challenging for us to be aware of it, for us to own it, for us to acknowledge it, whatever words we want to use. And, are we more interested in owning our human experience or our kingdom of heaven? Because if I'm more interested in owning my kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of heaven, we're all it together, then I will be willing to sell everything else to have that. It just, for me, it relates to there's a price for everything in this human realm. And the price for living the kingdom of heaven, living absolute consciousness, the price for that is everything. all of my conditioned thinking, all of it. Am I willing to give all of it up in order to live the truth of me? It's a lot to think about right out of the gate. Um, the next thing that jumped out at me is at the bottom of that page, the second sentence of the last paragraph. And what is the spiritual world? And where is it? It is right here. Could we but see it? Behind everything material stands the spiritual, supporting it, and without which there could be no material. That's just a reminder that we are consciousness in form. We are the quantum field in form. We are energy in form. We are whatever we want to call this spiritual realm. We are it in form. We're not separate from it. Um, and it goes on to talk about how our thought defiles that, right? Our thought, that whole section there, that which defiles, for me, can be summed up in as above, so below. As I think, so I experience, right? That our thoughts literally move the substance of consciousness into being, into form, which we then experience. Another way to look at that in non jargon terms is TFUA. Our thoughts create our feelings create our urges lead to actions. And those repeated create our habits, and our habits repeated create our belief system that becomes unchallenged and unchallengeable. And it becomes either our source of living in truth or our source of separation. If I believe I'm separate, then I experience separation, and I experience the pain of that separation, because I'm no longer experiencing the connection that is true of me. And so a part of me is missing, and that's always going to be painful on some level. And so what I know is that when I'm experiencing pain, when I'm experiencing emotional discomfort, something is out of alignment. Doesn't mean something's wrong. It means something's out of alignment. Um, if you know me, I really stay out of right and wrong. And that goes into that next section, when the blind lead the blind. Duality is the thing that we're always working to heal. And not just duality in good and evil, not just duality of heaven and hell, God and the devil, but any and every place we establish two powers, opposites that have equal power, we are practicing duality. Big and little, good and bad, right and wrong, up and down, more or less. Right? When I tell myself that if I have more of something, I will feel better, what I'm actually saying is more of that identified thing is more powerful than less of it. And that is a subtle duality that keeps me from a full experience of oneness. It's a lot to take in. And even that, right? Let me catch myself and front myself off. To say that it's a lot is right there playing in the field of duality. It's not, Why is it a lot? Because my brain separates a lot from a little. Because that's what has been drilled into us generationally as human beings. What if that's inaccurate? What if it is neither a lot nor little? What if it just is? And what if it truly is as simple as shifting the thought to it just is? Shifting the thought from that's a lot or that's hard to no, no, it just is. And give that some time to sink in. Give ourselves some space to let go. Right? We come full circle back to that first sentence. Are we willing to sell everything? Are we willing to pay the price of the process of letting go of everything that's not one in order to experience the wholeness, the completeness, the perfection of our being? Um, I really love these two sentences in that last section. We must test all ideas to see whether they are the truth. Test them. Right? Don't take anything at face value. Test it in your life. When the next time something comes up and you find yourself in that place of duality where something is better or worse, when you're in that judgment of, oh, that's good and that's bad, test letting go of both of those and just speaking, this is. This just is. This is evidence of a belief made manifest in the physical. See how that resonates in your body. Test it out. See. Truth is simple, direct, and always self evident. Self evident is a concept that I think we are challenged with because we're so busy trying to justify and explain. Truth doesn't need a defense. Truth doesn't need an explanation. Truth is self evident. The evidence of it is within itself. That literally is what self evident means. And so, are we willing to let go of our reflex learning to justify, to explain, to defend? What if you really believe what you believe so completely, so deeply, so embodied? You've tested it and you've proven it to be self evident. So you no longer feel any desire or compulsion to defend it. And then you just live it. What if that becomes your reality? What if that is the kingdom of heaven right here on earth, where we just live spiritual truth, no matter what? That's what's available to us. And it has a price. And the price is everything that's not that. So I don't see any comments. So let's take that into our time of meditation and contemplation. Here we go. Let's see. Turn that. So breathing in, I recognize that it is the breath of life breathing itself. One power, everywhere present. One substance, expressing in multiplicity without ever being separate from itself. Whether we call it energy, light, life, love, peace, power, intelligence, abundance, God, Buddha, Allah, Great Spirit, the great mystery, no matter what we call it, it is all that is contained in every label, in every idea, and so much more. It is the unfathomable, infinite possibility. It is the formed and the unformed, the seen and the unseen, the heard and the unheard. It truly is all. All. And so knowing that I am here in form, that there is a single substance that creates out of itself to express itself, it is reasonable and accurate that I understand that I am this one substance expressing, individualizing itself, expressing itself as this experience that I know as Rafe, as this human experience that I am living. To recognize that I am evidence of the individualization of consciousness itself. I am a portal of its activity because being made out of it, I must contain it. And so the creative process, that triune nature that simply expresses, it moves itself into the action of itself to individualize and express itself in multiplicity, is always active in, through, and as me, because it is expressing as me. And what is true of me is true of all creation, every individualized expression of it, every person, place, and thing expressing at its level of expression. One whole, complete, and perfect everything expressing as us. We are not it, it is us. And I recognize that clarity so that the pride, so that the human doesn't get invested in the separation. And recognizes the truth of my being. Consciousness is expressing itself as me. And so I claim and affirm, I move consciousness itself into being clarity, into being the embodiment of the kingdom of heaven, right here, right now, in this earthly planetary realm. I claim and affirm that within me is the power and the presence to just be, and to be all that I am. Not all that I came here to be, but to be all that I am here to be. Seeking nothing to add, I seek to become aware of all that I am. Claiming and affirming that the wholeness of creation is my wholeness. That nothing has ever been missing, just missing from my awareness. And so I claim and affirm my willingness to let go of everything that impedes my own experience of the truth of my being. Willing to sell all that I have to experience all that I am. Willing to release every thought that expresses duality at any level. Willing to become aware of the subtlety of separation operating anywhere in my thought processes, and to release them. And as I release them, to remember, to bring together the members of myself, the memories of myself, the recognition of myself. Knowing that as I recognize the self in me, I recognize it in all, because there is only one self. And heaven on earth, the kingdom of heaven, is living that recognition. So I recommit myself to seeing consciousness everywhere, beyond behavior, beyond the illusion and delusion of separation thinking. I choose to see beyond that, to the core, to the essence, to the truth, to the self-evident nature and truth of all life, to hold that above all else, to interrupt the lie of separation, and to live the truth of one. Knowing that every moment I live it out loud, every moment I am visible, I make it more available to be remembered by every expression of it. So I claim and affirm to do my part, to be the self-evident expression of life that I am. I say yes. Yes to being more than I ever imagined in this human brain that I can be. I say yes to listening to that voice of consciousness within. It speaks the truth of being to me. Yes. And I am grateful. I am grateful for that triune nature, that doer within the creative process that simply acts upon its own desire to express, acts lawfully, acts the same to every expression of creation, to every desire to experience. It just says yes all the time, every time. And I'm grateful. Grateful that its yes, its activity mirrors back to me perfectly what I believe, empowering me to choose and choose again. Grateful for that lawful activity of yes. So knowing it is already done, knowing the triune nature of the creative process that is me, that moves itself into the doingness of itself, into that divine yes, and makes it so, I can let go. I being the human I being that idea of separation, I can let all of that go and truly release my word. Letting go of all of the restrictions, letting go of all of the doubt, all of the fear, letting all of it go so that my word may fully manifest unencumbered, unhindered by the interference of thought confusion. I let it all go. And I move into this day, my mind and my eyes and my ears and my heart wide open to experience all that life has to experience this day. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amen. Amen. And so it is. Namaste.